Could it be possible that what we experience in our dreams is being crafted and molded by something meant to poison or program us for what we will encounter today? Where else does this happen, guys? Where else does this happen? But before we continue, have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about why our dreams the way they are? Have you? Maybe once in a while you're like, whoa, that was a pretty crazy dream. How did that populate? How did that happen? We don't really think about it. We don't really question it. Yesterday I talked about questioning. The reason we don't question is because that got installed in us. We got installed a set program, a set reaction to how we handle new information, old information, existing paths, our attempts at new paths, our resistance to roadblocks, our willingness to modify, our desire to explore, our ability to withstand challenging encounters that force us to repeat and learn, or else we'll never progress. Like all those things, do you guys understand? Your ability to do those things, any of the things that I just mentioned, is 100% based on what has been previously installed in you. Now, some of those are much easier to break than others because you can test them in different areas. If you can break that same thing, like, I really don't like doing challenging things that could affect my life. Well, have you tried doing them in a video game where the punishment is less severe? It's usually just a time punishment versus, hey, if I do it outside for something that I really want, well, maybe something actually bad could happen to my body, like I could get physically injured. Do we understand the difference? So I'm telling you that the way you just react to those things up front is something that has been installed in you, has been crafted, has been molded in you by countless pieces of information, of repetition, of recency, of experiences that we've encountered, both good and bad. Is it necessarily a bad thing to have caution and aversion to things that could potentially hurt you? Wrong. There's nothing bad with that, right? It's a good thing. It's smart. You've learned from either other people's mistakes or from your own, and you've been able to determine that that's the path. Do we see it's not always bad? But what I'm trying to tell you guys is, how many of you have even taken a step back to think about the things that I'm mentioning right now? And if you do, how often? I am debating and presenting that most of us claim, oh yeah, of course I do. Yet, if we do at all even, it's maybe once in like 100 days, and we do it because something else presented it to us. So in this case, myself, I'm saying like, why don't you guys question these things? Like why do you react those ways to like new things, or your ability to change from the old, or your ability to explore? Why do you want easy? Why do you choose the fast path? Why do you want a reward? Why do you care what people say? Like, how often do you actually analyze that and think about that and try to determine, wait, how did I get to that? How often do you guys actually spend time doing that? I'm saying almost never. And if you do, congratulations. You're kicking ass, and I'm proud of you. Some of you might just have had a reaction to me saying kicking ass. Do we understand? That is what I'm talking about. Your reaction there to that. It could either be a positive one, like, oh yeah, look at this guy, or it could be a negative one. And I'm saying, regardless of what it is, it doesn't matter, but you need to pay attention because that was crafted and molded and installed into you by the people that you were surrounded with, by your parents, by the information you consumed since you were a child, by school, by work, by the movies you watched, by the games you played, by the board games you did, all those things. Do we understand? And yet none of you have truly contemplated that. Think about if you want to like build some kind of like construct So if you guys don't understand that, let's just call it like a machine, right? Like you want to build different machine parts. We need some arms, we need legs, we need a head, we need shoulders, we need a body. Like almost think about like we're like a machine. And if that were the case, guys, I'm like, okay, I want the right arm that has the ability to just charge forward without fear and be able to explain things in such a way that makes people question. Oh, that's what the right arm gives? There's a one that gives that. There's another one that makes someone very cautious and play safe and not take any risks and prefer to just keep building money and live a comfortable life. Which one would you choose to put on your right arm? Do you guys get it? It's like that. But we don't actually see the stat point value on anything that we're equipping. We don't understand that until you open your eyes, begin to question, and then you can actually see that. Be like, wait a minute, if I keep playing that game, if I keep watching these shows, if I keep reading these books, if I keep talking to these people, if I keep spending time at this work environment, then I'm gonna replace my left arm that has these stats, these benefits, like, hey, this is the one that makes me question and makes me not care about money and realize that I can succeed with less and that anything that I try new, I should not get new tools right away. I should just attempt. I should make it a journey. I should make it about progression and see where it takes me. Where are the pitfalls? Where did I fall or stumble? And remember, it's not a mistake. It's just, hey, what can we modify immediately next time so that doesn't happen again? I'm like, oh, well, this time I stumbled right there, so now I'm going to be better here. Oh, that's what my left arm currently is, but if I keep spending time with people who only want to go to resorts that 4-star resorts, are there anything wrong with them, or 5-star ones? They're amazing, no. But all they want to do is that, and they want to drink, and they want to have the best foods and all the expensive stuff, and they believe in having mansions and security and all that stuff because it protects you. They're not wrong. But you see, like, all of a sudden I'm like, well, that means I need tools. They are all people who believe that tools are things that let us win in life. They don't believe in their natural talent anymore because now they're surrounded by tools, so now they become reliant on tools. And what would happen if they're gone? I'm telling you, they could adjust. They could learn to not need them. But you understand it would be a big clash on a big bridge because at this point, now they have such resistance and aversion to not having tools because like, why would you not? Why would you not have those tools? If they're readily available to you, why wouldn't you use them? If a tool is readily available to you right now, guys, if right now I'm just like, hey, here's a piece of bread or something like that, and I'm like, I give you a knife and a fork, or a spoon and a knife, let's just say. And I'm like, hey, can you eat this piece of bread? And you eat it with your hands. I'm like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you use the tools in front of you? Many of you would be like, wait, why wouldn't you eat it with your hands? You eat bread with your hands, you're just like that. It's not as easy to cut through with a knife, the crust. So why would we use the tools? And plus a spoon, I'm like, yeah, have you guys tried it? You can use a spoon as an equivalent of the fork. It's just basically there to hold the thing in place so the knife can cut. You can even use your hand. Do you guys understand? But then the spoon is easier to scoop up. Nothing falls through. Are we starting to piece this together? Most of you don't even question, like, wait, if I had a piece of bread in front of me right now, would I use the spoon and the knife or would I use my hands? How would you? I'm saying that was molded and crafted and installed in you. And you guys don't even spend 1 second questioning it because you want to know why. And this is why we can operate forward and just keep developing and keep evolving and keep creating new. So there's benefits and negatives to this, but it's because you're programmed to do so. Do you guys understand? Anything you can do without even thinking, anything you can do, like for example, right now I can keep talking and just drink. Do you guys understand? I don't even have to think because how to grab the mug, all that stuff, it's been programmed inside of me through repetition, through learning, and it's not a very difficult task. But do you guys understand? I know how to use my fingers. I know all that stuff is real. Why do you think for the first 18 years of our life, usually most of us are in school? Because during all that time, they're installing the basics. They're crafting and molding us to have the basics so that we can then operate to then play the real game of life. Are you guys starting to understand? That's how this works. But they need all that time through repetition to install the things to craft us, to mold us into something. It's not easy then to start breaking that, because think about it. If you've been doing something for 18 years, you're going to be surprised. You can break it pretty quickly, but it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take more than one day to break something that's been installed in you for 18 years. Till we understand where the complications arise. That's how they do it. But with sufficient repetition, with sufficient positive benefits that occur afterwards, and realizing, wait, nothing bad is happening when I'm doing this. Wait, I can drink this mug holding it like this rather than using the handle. Yeah. Well, I didn't spill. It makes me think a little bit more than if I use the handle. This is good. Wait, I didn't get punished? No. I'm safe? Yeah. Oh, this is cool. And wait, I can go back to using the handle now at any point if I choose to, because I still have it inside of me, even though now it's not my go-to method. So I can drink like this or like this. Are you guys starting to piece this together? Most of you get crafted, you get molded, you get installed. All these things inside of you. And you can never deviate from it because it's intentional. It's meant to be. That's what they chose for you to be. And if you don't intentionally break it and deviate, then that's who you become. And if at any point they want to change you, do we understand that if right now, if every single day I surrounded you with 10 people that only drank their mug, their water or coffee like this, holding the mug with their hand rather than using the handle, and anyone who used the handle, they mocked or laughed at. Oh, look, there's a handle, kid. Don't they know that holding the mug with your hand is the better way? Do you understand it? And then if some like stranger walks by, I'm like, look, more people that know that you have to drink the mug by holding it like this with your hand on the outside rather than using the handle. You're like, wait, more people do that? Have I been doing it wrong this entire time? Oh no. All right, let's try it. And the first time you try it, you drop the mug and it spills, and then they all laugh at you. You're like, ha ha ha. But then maybe like a girl comes up to you and you've been wanting to date a girl or something, and she's like, hey, it's okay. Let me teach you how to drink the mug like this. You can be one of us. You seem really cool. I like you. And you're like, oh, really? Okay. And then you just start talking to her. And you see, I could keep going, but do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? Is that they can craft us and mold us through the repetition and through the recency of things that occur. And I promise all of you, if you're even following along still, because a lot of you are going to be slightly defensive right now. A lot of you are going to be almost offended. You're like, what are you saying? That I'm just like a program? I'm like, yes, you are. And that's okay. But that changes today. Why would you continue to be satisfied with that? That something else or someone else decided who you're going to be or what you're going to be. They crafted and molded you into exactly what they wanted, and you didn't do anything about it. Because how could you? You didn't know this knowledge. You didn't have this knowledge. Until you are aware of something, how could you know? You can stumble upon something. It's possible. But I'm telling you, the only reason why I got to this point is because just for people to be aware, is I grew up living and moving every year to a new country. So it means that I always saw that everyone else did things differently than I. It was very challenging because everyone at every single country, I always tried to learn their way, and I did. And yet the next country then mocked my original way and the way from the other country. Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to tell you? Is that each country does things a little differently. It's because it's installed in them from day one. Think of it like they're just like a little zoo. Each country is a zoo, and they get installed certain behaviors and habitats, and that's how they develop and become who they are today. And I'm telling you guys that no matter which country I went to, if I did what that country said was correct and I went to the next one, everyone told me it's wrong. Then if I went back to my original things that were installed in me from my parents, from my aunts, from my uncles, from my cousins, from just my siblings and things of that, and things that I self-sourced, I'm telling you guys, they also said it was incorrect. Yet some would approach me and be like, oh my gosh, who are you? What are you? What are these things? These are really cool. Like, what is this? Those people still didn't have all their curiosity and their exploration beat out of them. Most of us get that deinstalled? Do we understand our ability to question, our ability to consider other views, our ability to contemplate that maybe there could be more to the world is one of the first things that they uninstall from our computer. Think of it like there's different chips and different programs that you can install on your computer. They uninstall that one as fast as possible in every single child. If you have a kid and you send them to daycare, do you understand that is where they uninstall it? It's that simple. If they don't uninstall it there, they attempt desperately to uninstall it during school. If they don't uninstall it during school, guess where they're gonna uninstall it? In college. And if they can't uninstall it there, guess where they're gonna uninstall it? At work. Do you guys see, like, there's so many places where they have set up things where they try to uninstall uniqueness, individuality, curiosity, ability to question, ability to contemplate more, ability to willing to walk to places to see things that other people don't see. So if you got to this, do you understand how challenging it was for myself to get to this point where I didn't lose it? And I'm telling you, I did lose it temporarily. Because if your entire life, everyone is telling you, you're wrong, you're weird, you're less than, and you always try to mold yourself then to learn others, but you try and you're like, it's not better than my way. It's just different. But they're missing out on things because they're limiting themselves from seeing more. How is that possible? Why would they limit themselves to see more? I just don't understand. I still don't understand. But then I realized, wait a minute. It's not their fault. They got crafted, they got molded, it got installed in them. And all the things that could allow them to break free and think for themselves got deinstalled, got uninstalled. I'm like, whoa, that's why now they're all reliant on tools. That's why now they all care about money. That's why now they all care about climbing the ladder. That's why now they follow whatever is, I call it the flavor of the month, but whatever is currently told is the way to be or what to do. And I'm like, why do they all do that? Many people would call those people sheep. I don't want to be offensive, but that's what they are. They follow something. Do you guys understand? They claim to be leaders. They claim to be people that are pioneers, but they're not. They're followers. They just go to whatever is currently winning because that's what got installed in them, that they need to win and that's where their validation comes from, by doing the things that are correct. Do we understand? Because then if other people applaud them, then they feel happy. So I'm going to pause there. That was a lot, huh? Why can I talk about that so easily? Do you guys understand? It wasn't even planned. It wasn't everything that I was going to talk about, but it was the correct time. Because I want people to understand that it's something I believe in, but it's something that I've experienced and something that I've seen. I could be wrong about some of those things. It's possible. Do I think so? No. But I still contemplate the possibility that maybe that there is more to it. I keep searching for that. Do you guys understand? I always want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong about my knowledge, not about the benefits and the results of my actions. But that's another story, because for some reason they decide to always prove me wrong for actual results, but they never prove me wrong with my knowledge. So that's the conflict that I have internally. But that's my story, not your guys's. So I'm just like, how is it possible? I want to be proven wrong. I'm like, stress test what I'm saying, explore it, and then tell me if I'm wrong. They uninstall it in you. You guys don't question. You guys never think about these things. How I got to be who I am today. How I got to think about these things. Why these things are popping up. Why I believe in these things and why I don't. And yet, I'm telling you, when you start doing that, you'll get overwhelmed. And that's okay. I'm not saying that all of them are bad. I'm telling you, I have a really strong magnetic draw towards beautiful women in bikinis, and that's just something that I experienced my entire life, right? And it's a really good positive for me. And I spend more time in Latin American countries, so Latinas have an advantage over other types of girls, but I still love other types of girls too. Do you guys understand? You could be like, but wait, that means that the only reason why you like Latinas? Maybe, sure, but that doesn't matter. Do you guys get it? You still know that it's one of your positives, and you just leave it at that. We can get lost there. But I just want you guys to start contemplating, wait a minute, I got crafted and molded by something. It's why you don't question. It's why you don't believe that there can be more. But how could that happen, right? So like I started explaining it more on a level that you guys could conceptualize, because I want you to understand, guys, is that we don't we never pieced together how we got from A to B to C and then to D. We just are like, well, somehow I am at D now. I have no idea how that happened. And then it was easy to get to E and F, and now I'm winning. But we can't recreate it. We can't make it happen again. And we just can't understand. And so what we end up doing, I challenge all of you to challenge this. What we end up doing is we desperately try to find ways to then recreate the past. Because we're like, well, I did something right then, right? And that's what I won, so I'm gonna just keep doing that over and over again. And it just never works out the same way, or then it doesn't work out for like months. And then randomly one time it does, and you're like, oh, yep, I knew it, I'm the best, we got this, yeah. And then you rely on praise and adoration, so then you start bragging to everyone. You're like, hey guys, I'm so good, like this is what this is, so right? Because if that's all people hear, they're like, wow, this guy's really good. This guy's really amazing. Do you understand? If you don't talk about your actual accomplishments, that you just taught, you guys didn't know that I might have known that I moved like 7 different countries in my entire life, and that I had to adapt to that and handle those things. Do you guys understand that I don't talk about that often? But now that I do, you're aware of it. So if other people are just constantly bragging about their accomplishments, you might think that they're better than they are. Pay attention to this one, guys. I'm saying I don't pay attention to at all what people say anymore about who they are. I pay attention to actually what they're doing. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see if you're as good as you claim. So I challenge all of you, like on LinkedIn, the people who are the most followed and have the most success, I'm like, well, let's see what you're actually posting. Let's see what you're talking about. And then challenge them, ask questions. Can they actually elaborate? Can they actually talk about these things in depth, on whim, free form? If I just prompt them, they're like, well, I'm not prepared for that. I'm like, well, why can't you just talk about it? Do you guys understand? You guys look up to them and you worship them and you believe that they're your gods. You guys say not, but literally you like every single one of their posts and you just follow whatever they say. Could they do that? If they can, that's awesome. And I believe that they could, but they've limited themselves and they're now reliant on tools. So because of that, they no longer can. Do you guys understand? Because if they don't have those tools, they can't perform at the same level anymore. So now there's people that are beneath them, quote unquote, that could perform at a higher level than them because they're not reliant on tools. They can do so without. So if you ever even the playing field, or if you had those same tools too, do you guys understand that you could surpass them? But why would you? It's not a competition. We need to work together. But I want people to start contemplating these things. So, do you guys see that we become things because of what's being presented to us? And I call it, we're being crafted and we're being molded. And now you guys are starting to piece together how it's starting to happen in just our physical reality. Like I said, just pay attention to like my videos and what I write. I'm not gonna even get into how fast or how slow I do it or how I do it, but I just want you guys to pay attention to, wait a minute, like how is he able to talk about these things? What does he actually know? Like what is being presented there? Like is there more depth to it? Like is it easy to understand? Like that's what I guys want you to focus on. You guys see, like I'm not telling you guys the answer, but I want you to analyze things like that nature. And don't just follow the herd. Don't just follow what's popular. Be like, well, wait a minute. Why? Why are we doing it that way? Why are we doing that way? I'm telling you guys, there's so many things in my life right now that I would be like willing to try a new journey. And if I did try that new journey, you best bet the entire time, I'm only looking to disrupt it. I'm only looking to find new ways, better ways, or things that no one has considered anymore, because you want to know what? Each industry, each area, each thing gets stuck. And what does get stuck mean? It means that they follow something else. The people who walked before. And you can use those as guides and then until you no longer need a guide. But the problem is that then people believe that that's the way and that there's no other way. So now everything else every single developer, every single designer has to develop based on the installed way that was created by the people who were using those things. So that means that now that thing is ruined. I call it ruined. Why? Because now it can never be the same thing that it could have always been, because now it's not being molded and crafted naturally anymore. Now it's based on what everyone else is saying is the best. They figured out one thing, and now the designers are forced to design around that thing because they don't want to change that one thing. Do you guys understand? If all of a sudden right now, like, hey, I'm just going to use a video game because it makes sense to me, but in a video game, Final Fantasy 14 Online, there's what they call dungeons. Think of it like a challenge you do with a group. And there's these enemies that need to be, that are slightly challenging. They do more damage, so someone who has more resistance has to be the one to take the blows, and then someone like myself that's a healer heals them to keep going. And then there's other people that don't have a lot of resistances, but they can do damage from far away, from safety. That's kind of how it works. Yet, what ended up happening was they didn't make those smaller enemies between the big battles that happen challenging enough, or enough damage. So a strategy developed where it was just, you just rush past everything until right before the boss, and then you use everything you have, and then you survive. But you just, basically it's just rush, run, and then I call it AoE, but it's area of effect attacks, and then it's over. And that's the strategy. And there's very few dungeons or challenges that they created that deviate from that. Why? Because they tried once, and I'm telling you, it didn't get good feedback. People got angry at it because now their go-to strategy that worked for everything no longer worked during that one encounter, that one challenge, because they intentionally created things to stop that strategy. So because they did that, and it forced people to actually go slower and appreciate and explore, it changed everything. But then, since they got negative feedback, right? They got negative reinforcement for their decision. They reverted back to doing what the crowd has now deemed as the way of how to do things. Right? You have to just rush like this. So they even started designing things differently. They started making certain things easier because they're like, well, people don't like that, and people don't like that. And they're like, well, then there's no reason to make all these optional paths because people are just going to rush past them. Why would we make these optional? You guys understand that the entire design got modified because the people who started at the beginning crafted and molded one thing because that's what they came from other things that already had installed in them to rush, not explore, not appreciate. So all of a sudden, the developers are like, oh my gosh, people are doing it like that. We didn't think so. They tried to stop it, but it didn't work because then they got negative feedback, and then they reverted. And now, I'm telling you, I'm still exploring that game, but everything that I've seen from now on is designed around the people who first came there. And just for anyone who like uses streaming platforms, I was contemplating doing it. I'm not doing it yet. Maybe down the road I will. But I just know, like, Twitch, I look at it, I'm like, wow, it got figured out. And now they design around it, everything. Because I was there at the very beginning when it first had no users. Do you guys understand? I was there. I watched streams when it started. It started like with the League of Legends, World of Warcraft days. I was there at the very beginning, and it wasn't developed yet. Yet now, it got completely lost. It's a completely lost platform because now they design around the people who use it exclusively. They don't create anymore for themselves, right? They don't think for themselves anymore. Now the designers base it around what I call the flavor of the month, what the people deemed was the best method. So now they design around that. I'm like, that's insane. How can that be possible? I'm like, we can create our own thing, but you shouldn't create exclusively around us. You can be like, hey, we want to give you guys more content around the things that you enjoy. That's awesome. But do you understand? That means that it got changed, and people can't revert back anymore. So if someone right now did anything differently from what the status quo is on a platform such as like Twitch or any social media, I challenge each and every one of you, it could have success. But do you understand the majority of people that see it or that experience it are going to be like, well, this is weird, or this doesn't belong here, or why would we do this, or all this stuff like that? Do you guys get that? Because they have now been installed in them that it has to be a certain way. They've now been crafted and molded to believe that that's for this, that's for this. And I'm like, it's a tool. You mean you can't eat bread with a spoon? Why? Is it the best way? Maybe, maybe not. But why can't you? I'm saying you got crafted and you got molded to believe that. And I challenge each and every one of you. What do you, like, for example, like Instagram, if I all of a sudden did one of like these videos or posts like this on Instagram about this kind of knowledge, some people might like, oh, isn't that where like people post like the hot girls and stuff like that? I'm like, yeah. Do you guys understand? Doesn't mean that a certain tool or a certain place or a certain area or a certain method has more inclination towards certain things, right? Like, hey, it's designed more around like pictures and stuff like that than these things. Sure. But why can't it also be that? Or why can't it have that? Or why can't it? I'm just trying to make you guys question. Do you guys see? We get put into this box. We get put into a circle and we can't leave it. And it's not a circle of peace. It's a circle of limitations. It's a circle of limitations. And I'm telling you guys, it's not an accident that you become that way. All they have to do is make sure that everything that's being presented to you, all they have to do is make sure that everything being presented to you is that you need to follow the crowd. You need to follow the herd. If you ever deviate, you're not going to have any success. And what is success, right? Depends on the platform, but most people base it on metrics or an external metric. On the streaming platform Twitch, if you don't have viewers, you're not doing it correctly. On LinkedIn, if you don't get likes and comments, you're not doing it correctly. On YouTube, if you don't get views, you're not doing it correctly, right? Isn't that how it works? Wrong. This video might get 0 views, but it might get 1, but it could get 1 million. I ask all of you, does the content, does the information, does the validity, does the knowledge in this video change whatsoever if I have 1 view or 1 million views? Answer that. Does the knowledge in this video or on the post that I write on LinkedIn change whatsoever if I have 1 view or 1 million views? Because it already exists. Do you guys understand? It already exists. I already created it. It's uploaded. But it only has 1 view. When you see that 1 view video, you're like, Shepherd Star Diplomat, it's probably not that good of a video. But all of a sudden, if you came back a month later and it had 1 million views, like, oh my gosh, I need to learn what Shepherd Star has to say about this and the Star Diplomat. Do you all understand how easy it is for you to be completely crafted, molded, shepherded, guided, manipulated, controlled just through a metric like that alone? Because that what you determine is the quality and the benefit of the knowledge in said video, the number of subscribers. And this is not someone who doesn't have that that's being jaded. I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, this is for myself. I hope that at least 1 person gets this because they're gonna get so much knowledge. And I applaud them for being willing to watch something that doesn't have the viewer metric, because that means that they don't have that installed in them. They're willing to explore things for themselves. They're willing to question things for themselves. They're willing to defeat what was crafted and molded in them from years and years and years of planned things presented to them. So if you're that person, I congratulate you. You're amazing. You're incredible. Keep going. You got this. You're going to be the reason why this world changes. We need more of you. All right. So that's that part. Why did I go there? I wasn't going to go there. But the reason why I did that is because the thing that I'm going to talk about next is it's not an easy one for people to conceptualize, because it means that everything that they know about the world is wrong. I mean, if you start questioning things already, if you've been following along my videos, you already know that. But what I'm saying is that you might stumble upon this one first. And if that's the case, you're like, well, okay, so now I kind of understand how they craft us and mold us as people. That's conditioning, guys, what I really talked about. I just explained it a different way. And programming. But I just wanted people to understand it without those words. And brainwashing, by the way. That's why all of you guys have those reactions to those things. So how could the conditioning, the programming, and the brainwashing begin? Well, you need to have a certain interpretation lens. If I've never used a platform like YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitch or things of that nature before, do you guys understand that I'm going to be overwhelmed the first time I use it? I might be like, this is too much. Or if, okay, let's just use it. Think of it like a poor kid that just was placed in a place that they don't have money, they don't have resources, they don't have food, they don't have stuff like that. Parents that don't really have good shelter, all those things, right? All the cards that they were dealt are against them. Does that mean they can't have a good, happy life? No. But you understand it's significantly more challenging than if they were a child born into the mansion of one of those rich LinkedIn influencers that have all the tools. Just think about it like that, guys. So what does that mean? It means that if they start exploring these platforms for the first time, well, maybe they sell gum. Like, this is real in Mexico, by the way. They sell gum to people, usually tourists, to try to make some money for their family. And when they're doing that, maybe they saw, there's a little boy, he saw some beautiful women, right? Maybe he saw some like beautiful American girls and some like Chinese, Korean girls. And then he went on Twitch, and then he saw the first videos that populated there, the streams on the For You page, were some of those girls, or girls that looked like the ones that he enjoyed selling gum to. He's gonna be like, whoa, this is so cool. I like this. So then you see he had a positive, and then this, because we showed him this, like, whoa. So then he might keep exploring. But do you understand? He doesn't even understand what views are. This little boy that has poor, that's been selling gum in the streets, doesn't even know what views are. He doesn't know what any of these things are, like bits, donations, like what are all these things? They don't mean anything. But his interpretation lens is based on what he's experienced, when he's been crafted and molded with, right? So the boy sees the girls. So that's what he looks at, and that's where he goes toward. Those are the paths that he walks, because he's like, whoa, I mean, I can see the nice girl that made me smile because she bought some gum for me so I could get a toy today. I can see her, or an equivalent on demand, on this platform called Twitch. Whoa, this is awesome. And slowly, if they keep returning to that, they might start getting aware and learn about views, about like Twitch raids and all these other things. Do you guys understand? They didn't know any of those things. But then because now they started going back there and they started exploring it, they did. And maybe they're in the chat and they get comments and they're like, oh, so that's how it should be, or that's what they should do. Do you guys understand? Like, it starts evolving. It starts growing. It starts increasing the situation. I'm going to stop there. But I wanted people to understand how it works. Do you guys see? The interpretation lens of that poor boy who's selling gum was completely different. Versus what if you had used every single social media platform up till now and you were in the know of technology? The moment you do, like, okay, well, how is this going to work? Okay, I shouldn't pay attention to views, but I should pay attention to this. I should pay attention to this. Okay, you set up my camera here. I need to do this. I'm like, okay, let's watch people that actually know how this works. Oh, why would they don't have a camera? Don't watch that stream. Yeah. All right, and this. Oh, they don't have a chatbot moderator installed. Bad stream. Next. Do you guys understand? Like, some of you might have no idea what I'm talking about. But you see, like, if you already go into it with, if you've been crafted and molded to understand these things, then you can succeed at that thing. Or then you're the way you explore it, the way you interpret it, the way you walk forward in it is different. are we starting to piece this together, guys? It's not simple, right? It could literally be for anything. I can keep going. I can keep making more examples and more examples and more examples. But it's this simple, guys. Something preemptively sets your interpretation lens that through the things that you've experienced repeatedly, things that you saw, the things that got praised, the things that got punished, the things that got rewarded, the things that you used to enjoy, but you're like, why did these get punished and the other things got praised? Like, I got attacked for this, so I'm going to stop doing it as much, but I got rewarded for this, so I'm going to do this more. All those things are real. Are you guys starting to understand? All those things are real. That happened throughout our entire life. Every single thing caused a response. Do you guys understand? Every single thing that we did, good or bad. Who determined good or bad? Other people told us what is good or bad. Yet, eventually we can discover for ourselves. And usually what do we base it on? It's like, well, I felt different. I felt more belief. I felt more hope. I felt more happy. I felt more inclined to do more. I felt stronger. I felt more inspired. I felt able to withstand anything. Okay, then that's a good thing. Oh, I felt bad here. I felt bad here. I felt bad here. I felt bad here. And I'm telling you, you have to pay attention to all those things, because both those things, they can make it so that even things that you feel better about, I'm telling you, they just pre-install things in you. Why do you guys think everyone gets down the drinking path if you haven't gotten baited throughout your entire life to do so? You want to know where they do it? In college. They want people to do that. I'm going to stop there, but you guys get it? It's because it's rewarded. If right now you use AI, are you rewarded? Right now you use all the tools that you have to spend money on that can help you skip steps and perform better. Do you get rewarded? Not always, but most likely. So what is that going to do? It's going to make anyone else that's trying be like, well, I need to, why do they all have the rewards? Why are they all winning? I need to do the same thing. All right. So now that you guys understand it at that level, at the physical level, at the more obvious overt level, because the whole point of these videos is really what it is, guys, is I'm trying to make you guys focus on the non-overt. You're like, wait, you just spent all this time on the overt. Yeah, but it's necessary for you to understand what's coming next. The main point that I'm trying to discuss. They're like, that was the main point. I'm like, it was a benefit. So if you guys, most of you couldn't even conceptualize all what I just talked about before. So if you can't even understand that part, how could you get to this part, is what I'm trying to say. And that's okay. Now you guys understand why. It was made to be that way. You were made to be, it was made to be impossible for you to comprehend and understand the knowledge that I'm talking about. And you immediately attack it. You immediately not question it. You immediately dismiss it. And you immediately write it off as just heresy, blasphemy. Because you don't have the questioning program installed in you. Now, I hope as you're starting to piece all this together, like, wait a minute, yeah, that makes sense how I am that way, and why I viewed that thing that way, and why I explored something that I haven't done before that way. Why I always wanted to go for the best things, and I looked up guides, and I wanted to look up how to win immediately and all these things. Now it all makes sense. Okay, enough about that. So, where did we begin? Could it be possible that what we experience in our dreams is being crafted and molded by something meant to poison or program us for what we will encounter? What do you guys think now? Could that be possible? So, I'm going to keep going. If I present 100 things to you right now for 1 hour, remember what we said about the mug, holding the mug with your hand or holding it by the handle. Have I changed your recency that could possibly affect what you do next? Some of you might look at Twitch now. Some of you guys might look at LinkedIn or look at like views of YouTube differently now. Are you guys starting to understand what I'm trying to tell you? I changed your recency. Some of you guys might start being like, oh wow, this group that I hang out with, or these people that I spend time with, or this work environment that I go to, or my family, wait, they kept repeating this. Is that why they installed that in me? Is that why I view things that way? You guys right now, after this, might go around looking like, oh my gosh, that's how they created that. That's how they made me like that. That's because I put that in you right now. Think of it like I installed a virus of questioning in you, but this actually heals you. And it's going to destroy all the old programming that's inside of you. But then what you do next is your choice. Nothing else is going to happen. You guys understand? The moment this virus destroys all your old programming and all the chains and locks that you have on you right now that they crafted and molded you with, once it destroys them, then you're free. What happens after that? The virus then self-destructs. And they're like, wait, so it's not actually a virus? No, it's a good thing. It's a healing. But I'm calling it a virus so that you guys can conceptualize it. Do you guys understand? Because you guys associate destruction with bad. And I'm saying we have to destroy the things that are limiting us. Because then once we do that, we're free. Now, the only caveat to that, I'm going to stop here, but I want people to understand. The only caveat to that is that there's sometimes where we actually are being stopped by something else that literally is making it impossible. When that's the case, even if you're free, you need to pay attention to that. Because if you walk into something and you know there's no way, then that's just a mistake. So do you guys see, I'm changing your recency. I'm presenting all these things to you. So could that affect what you do next? Could that affect how you view things next? Are you guys starting to understand? So that means everything you guys do today, everything you guys have done yesterday, everything I do tomorrow, if you don't pay attention to where you're spending your time and where you're just consuming info and getting things spammed, repeated in the recency to you, do you guys realize that everything I'm talking about right now, I'm recording this right now, it's going to change how I experience everything today. A little bit. Not too much, because I am capable of resetting. I'm capable of changing things. I'm capable of understanding why. So then I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And I can just immediately interrupt it mentally, because I have that level of self-control of my mental paths. But most of you haven't got there yet. You just do whatever's presented into your head. So do you guys understand that everything is going to be affected now, wherever you go? So let's say this. If I feed you food and give you coffee right now, so let's say I give you a croissant and coffee, or I give you a bagel and some coffee. You eat it and you drink it. After you finish eating those, are you more or less likely to go eat again and get coffee after that? What do you guys think? You just ate a bagel or a croissant. You just had a coffee. Are you more likely to choose to go get another bagel and coffee, or less likely? If I allow you to listen to music, then I allow you to play a video game that you enjoy, or a board game that you like, or maybe one that you play with your family, or you enjoy solving a puzzle. I mean, think of it like a Sudoku puzzle or something like that. Or you played the brain game called 2048. Will you have had fun? Quote unquote. Do you want to keep playing and not take kindly to interruptions? You have the music that you enjoy, you're playing either a video game that you like, or a board game, or you're solving a puzzle, all things that you enjoy, that are fun. You're having fun, right? You want to keep playing. So you wouldn't be happy if something interrupted you. But what if the opposite occurs? What if I didn't give you food? I didn't give you coffee? Won't you be hungry, like at all? Nothing up today, you just have nothing. You have no access to food, coffee, or water. Would you be hungry? Would you be thirsty? Would you be perhaps slightly more tired? If I prevented you from playing the games that you enjoy? If I blocked access to music today? Would you be frustrated? Would you be more annoyed? Would what you do next change? Do you see how our path could change? If I wanted you to be frustrated or annoyed today, if I knew you wanted to play a game and I prevented you from playing that game or watch a movie or read a book and I blocked you, couldn't I frustrate you and annoy you? What if I do that before you're about to go, I don't know, meet someone or meet like a new family or meet a girl or whatever? Don't you think that you're gonna behave slightly differently than if you had only good things happen to you prior to that experience, whatever it is? Doesn't matter what it is. You guys understand? Just think of it like, we're about to do X. If before X, only good things are presented to us or we get access to them and we get to enjoy them, then the way we experience X is going to be different. But if we do the opposite, if we get only presented negative things, or if we get blocked, or if bad reminders are happening, or things are, you see, then the way we experience X now is going to have more frustration, more annoyance, less patience, more anger. And that's not even talking about, remember what we said earlier, how we get installed and crafted and molded. So like, if you already are like someone who doesn't tolerate mistakes, if you believe that the metrics, like views, are what considered a win. So then if you then do something that's like a competition and you're losing, won't you get frustrated? Won't you be extremely like negative and start attacking people? So that means that if I can just make you negative before, even at all, you do something, the way you interact at that event when you do something is going to be different. Are you guys starting to piece this together? You see how, depending on what we present prior, what you do next changes. Until you're aware of this, until you see it, our path changes. So I call this, it's based on what was repeated to us over an extended period of time. Because if right now, hey, you wanted to drink water before you go, I don't know, before let's say you record a video or you do a stream, you wanted to drink water and I don't let you. And that could be bad if you're going to talk a lot because you're going to be thirsty. But you could probably handle that. But what if all of a sudden your internet was off, the lights that you used for your lighting just shattered and they broke and they cracked? What if, like, I don't know, all of a sudden your microphone is having technical difficulties, a neighbor decides to host a party and there's loud music playing? The water one wasn't that bad. See, like, it wasn't sufficient to cause a major disruption. It still maybe changed our path a little bit. But when we got presented so many negatives over an extended period of time, we might actually just be like, you know what? I'm not going to do a video today. I'm not going to stream today. There's just too many problems. There's too many interruptions. There's too many things. Are you guys starting to piece this together? So that means that if I wanted to change your path, I need to do so by finding ways to present either info that's positive or negative, repeated to you over an extended period of time, and things that you consider positive or negative based on what you're planning to do. Because if you're not going to talk a lot and there's multiple sinks around you, well, then you can get water whenever. So if I prevented you from getting water previously, it doesn't really do a lot, does it? So let's think about it like this, guys. So where can we get info repeated to us or things repeated to us over an extended period of time? Where can that happen? When can that happen? How did we get presented the info or suggestions or the positives or the negatives? the source. Was it a water barrel in Germany? What? Yeah, was it a water barrel in Germany? Are you guys thinking about literally a barrel? Think about like a barrel of water, like a blue one, and like you can put a lid on it. But if you open the lid, there's like a lot of mosquitoes because they're attracted to water. And you can get like a gardening pail and dunk it in, and then you can water a garden because there's in a farm town in Germany to grow your own vegetables and fruits and flowers. Oh wait, that was my grandma and godmother's place. Are you guys now thinking about that maybe a little bit? Can you visualize it? Like there's like a big brown fence and there's 2 homes and there's a large green grass area and there's a little gardening where they grow the vegetables and the fruits. There's snails that tend to water that area to try to destroy the vegetables and the fruits. But then they have a lot of flowers in front by the windows of each home that they water. What color was the water barrel? Blue, right? Are you guys starting to see what? So it's like, where can that happen? When can that happen? How did we get the info suggestion? The source. Who was the source of everything that's just in your head right now? What's active? Who was the source? What was the source? Myself. Shepherd Star. The Star Diplomat. The Dark Knight. The owl who sees things that other people don't. The lion that is willing to hunt in the open, despite whatever results come from this. Phoenix. Are you guys starting to piece this together? So you have to understand the where, the when, the how, but it's the source. So if that were the case, what if like right now, do you guys understand though, at any point during this video, you can all just hit X or pause it? You could. That means that you could stop what the information is being presented to you. You could. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? You have that power for almost anything. Almost. There's a lot of things that you can actually stop. Do you need to just scroll Reddit? Do you? That's an easy one to stop. You see? That's an easy one to prevent the source. Are you guys starting to understand this? Most of you are getting info presented to you where, when, how, and the source, and you guys think that there's nothing you can do about it, but you're self-sourcing it. I'm saying you can limit that. You need to limit that so that you can start breaking all the things they crafted and molded you with, and they're continuing to craft and mold you now that you understand the danger of recency. So, but what if you couldn't? What if you couldn't get rid of Reddit? What if you couldn't pause this video? How would that happen? What if I put you on a chair? A torture chair. Chains, shackles. So now, isn't that the ideal? I put you in a room that you can't escape for a set amount of time. And now, I play Shepherd Star's videos, the Star Diplomat, the Dark Knight, the Phoenix, the Lion, the Owl, over and over again. Now, I choose to just have a Reddit feed scrolling in front of you. And if you close your eyes, then I start having an AI voice over all the info in the video or on Reddit. And if you plug your ears, you can't because you have shackles. You see, do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? If you can't escape from it, that's the ideal. Because then you can know someone's exact inclination. I literally presented all this info to them. Let's say I made you watch these kind of videos of what I'm talking about today. In a room, you're literally in a chair, in a torture chair. And if you ever try to stop listening to this info, you're gonna get tortured. So we know we locked you in there for like 6 hours straight. Do you guys understand that? That means all your recency, the only voice that is basically in your head right now is mine, Shepherd Star. So it means I have a pretty good idea of your inclination. You're gonna be much more rebellious. You're gonna be much more inquisitive. You're gonna question things. You're gonna see things a little differently. So that means I can understand what your focus is. That means that I can understand how you interpret things now. That's what I call a lens. Think of it like in front of our eyes, we have a lens that lets us see things differently. And that lens is based on what we experience repeatedly for, like, let's say an hour or after 100 things are presented. If we don't change our active recent memory, I'm telling you guys, are we not allowing the previous information or the suggestions that we got repeated to us nonstop to dictate what we do next or how we see things? Are you guys starting to piece this together? Where could it be that we're getting info put into us and suggestions where we can't escape for a set amount of time? There's a few places in our life. I want you guys to think about that one. So what if we up the time? What if we up the repetition? And now we can force to choose what is presented to someone. What if I know you told me that today you're going to go on a date with a girl? You haven't dated in quite some time, and you're going to go on a date with a girl. Proud of you, first of all. That's awesome. I know you're going to do well. You're going to crush it. Any girl is lucky to be with you. You're a great guy. You're kind. You're honest. You're romantic. You understand that even though you care about their appearances, that it's more than just that. It's also about who they are, what they believe in, but you understand why they are the way they are today. But you appreciate them who they are today. You appreciate their uniqueness. You got this. Just be yourself. Don't force it. Don't try to make them believe in any one thing. Just, hey, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. If it doesn't work out, oh well. I don't need you. You don't need me. That simple. You got this. Can't wait to hear how well it goes. You're like, whoa, thanks. I needed that pep talk. That's awesome. What if I presented that to you before your date? Because I knew what you will most likely experience today. So if you don't interrupt that path, right after that, you decide to go outside and you go have that coffee croissant date with that sexy leg girl. Whew. Won't you walk the way I told you to? Won't you believe a little more? Won't you decipher the universe the way I presented it to you? Won't you be like, wait, I am unique. I am worth it. She needs to believe in who I am. I don't need to mold myself to her. She doesn't need to mold herself to me, but we need to both be ourselves. I understand why she is the way she is. She got crafted and molded, and it's awesome. Doesn't mean that we both can't change and move forward together. But let's see who she is today. You might have never considered those things before. But you guys see that? What if I now kept telling you that for hours? And I told you also, there's no right tactics. There are no strategies that you have to do. Just literally just talk. Hey, wait, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm like, nah, there's no reason to. There's literally none. There's none. Just talk. Like, whoa, this is different. I'm like, try it. No lines, no pickup lines, none of that stuff. Just talk. Like, really? Like, yeah. You might actually go into it calm. You might go into it relaxed. You might go into it just believing. You might just be like, you know what? They're lucky if they get to be with me. You now might have flipped it on them and believe that you're worth it. They are too, but you don't put them on a pedestal anymore. Like, you guys see what I'm talking about? Most guys wouldn't do that, or vice versa, right? Especially because girls are usually crafted and molded to believe that they need the relationship, or because that's their worth and their value. So are we starting to piece this together? Like, if I knew that you were going to have that date today, couldn't I pre-install things into you? Couldn't I determine how it's going to go? Also, just think about it though. Like, if I meet that girl and all of a sudden she's telling me like, yeah, I believe in only rich tools and we should never question anything. And I'm like, that's okay. But then I keep talking to her and she has no willingness to even consider. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. We're gonna bump heads. Doesn't mean that's a bad thing. But do you guys see? Like, it's gonna be a different experience than if she was more agreeable to me. Neither one is bad, but do you guys see, like, based on who we are pre-installed, how we're going to experience something. But do you guys understand that if I know what you're going to do or most likely going to experience today, or I can make sure that you experience those things today, couldn't I force to choose what is presented to you? Up the time, up the repetition, repeat it, and then couldn't I change your inclination, your focus, your interpretations of things to create a lens? And you have to start being like, where's that source? What's the source of that? But do you guys understand? If I didn't know what you were going to do today or what you're going to experience today, I might guess. But it's much more challenging for me to present things to you because they won't actually have the same impact. If you don't actually end up going on that date, I'm like, shit, I presented all that and you didn't go on the date? Well, then all that didn't really do anything. I call that, if you don't interrupt the path, you walk where someone else told you to. You decipher the universe the way someone else told you to. Think about it like this, guys. What happens after we experience a feel-good romantic movie? Even just hear what I just said. Feel-good romantic movie. Are you guys starting to piece this together? Might you be more kind to, let's just say, I call it like this, my girl, but you had a girl and you called her my butterfly wind girl. We just watched a romantic movie, we felt good. Maybe during the movie we actually held hands again. It's been quite a while. And it just reminded us of our journey. All of a sudden after that movie, when I offer to give her a wrist massage, then she decides to give me a head scratch. That's called a path. Do you guys understand that something like that can, if it's a 2-hour movie, can sufficiently set you to be a little bit more kind, a little bit more caring to your girl, or vice versa? Are you guys starting to piece this together? That you could literally just, I'm like, okay, let's watch another one. It still didn't have the intended effect. They're still cold to each other. Let's put another feel-good romantic movie on. Oh, all right, we're getting some progress now. They're starting to be kinder again to each other. All right, let's do another one. Hey, you know what? Let's have someone text them a picture of when they were all together and happy before problems happened. Oh, look at that. Now that's a path. 2 romantic movies in a row, and then they have a picture when they're all happy. So I'm like, oh, look at that. You guys, you're on, oh, wow. Yeah, that was a really good date. They're probably going to have sex that night. Me and the butterfly wind girl. They're going to be happy. I'm going to cook for her. She's going to do me favors. Are you guys starting to piece this together? How this works? Why can't you get to that point? Despite the feel-good romantic movies, despite not getting that text in the picture, you need to learn to reach a state where you can operate at the same level regardless of what is repeated to you, regardless of what is pushed to you, and regardless of what is told to you. If you can't, do you guys understand each and every one of you is extremely vulnerable to whatever you experience repeatedly, whatever you experience recently, and whatever they put into you to start a path. If you don't interrupt the path, you walk that path. It's just that simple. Even someone who's fully aware of it, if I start a path, I'm telling you, it's not easy. You can interrupt it and you can prevent it, but it's not easy. So, Now let's go full circle. Now you guys see all of it in our reality. I explained all of it in such a way that I hope all of you can start now at least seeing it. You don't have to understand it, but if you see it, if you can catch it, if you're like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. The moment that happens, the virus succeeded and the virus then self-destructs. What happens after that is up to you. How you use that is up to you. That's not my duty. My duty is just to break you free. That's all I'm here for. I just want each and every one of you to do that. Yet if you do, it's not my problem. That's up to you. This is at the end for myself. So at the beginning we asked, could it be possible that something is molding and crafting us in our dreams, knowing what we're most likely going to experience today? I'm saying it is happening in our dreams. You don't even understand why you have the dreams that you do. And I'm saying it's to bring back recency, it's to bring back examples, it's to communicate with us certain things. Could something literally be able to determine and populate what they want in our dreams? I'm not going to get lost here, but I'm challenging all of you guys. I believe that there's a light and a dark side, and they take turns alternating and presenting things to us in our dreams. They mold things. They can't, it's like, basically think of it like chess. And they can move, you get one turn, the enemy gets one turn, and they get one turn. Because sometimes I'm telling you guys, I've noticed that I'm like, ooh, I can now, I have lucid dreaming, right? And these are my cures, my asunas. And I realized that all of a sudden something, and I'm like, ooh, this was meant to be bad, but I'm like, it has a good, like, it doesn't align, right? Like, let's say like you were supposed to, you have a dream of Shepherd Star Diplomat, and you see how I'm dressed right now with my shepherd coat and my shepherd talisman and all this stuff like that. But instead of like my head in this background, all of a sudden there's like, I don't know, like a dark shadow back there. Like almost like a Grim Reaper or something like that. And you're like, what? And like my eyes are like red, and there's like purple shadow laser things shooting out from me. You're like, what the heck? That's not Shepherd Star, he's light. He is the Dark Knight. But you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? Like, you would be like, that's weird, but okay. I'm saying, pay attention to your dreams, guys, if you remember them. If you don't, even better. You still need to do what I'm about to tell you. They set up poison or positives, both. Do you guys understand? And I'm not saying it's a overt thing. Like, they're not telling you, like, they're not like showing me like, hey, I'm about to date a girl today, or go on a date with a girl. It's not like they're gonna show me a girl. Like, I can see myself and I see a random girl and we're like, I give her flowers and chocolate and something like that. Like, that they're suggesting that, hey, maybe I should do something like that. I'm not saying that they will do that, but maybe they presented like other things that could make me feel more inclined to be nice to a girl. Maybe like there's like, they show me like I have a little dream of like a video game that I used to play, that Final Fantasy VIII, where the main character was romantic. After a certain point, he warmed up to the girl, Renoa, Squall and Renoa, and he like carried her on his back after she suffered a loss and stuff like that. And I see that, and that's what's in my dream. So when that happens, what would that make me think? I'm like, wow, look at that guy. He's taking care of the girl. He's fighting for her. What could be the underlying thing about that? Hey, be nice to the girl. Try to take care of her. Try to do that stuff. Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to tell you? It's not, doesn't have to be like an overt, direct thing saying, hey, get the girl flowers and chocolates. They can do so as well, but usually they do so through these think of it like, they don't want to spell out the answer for you directly, but they put they put all the little breadcrumbs there for you to piece together. But I'm saying, like, imagine that was all you dream, and then the next one was another game or a movie that you enjoy that had like a romantic thing, and they still chose to like fight for something, and they chose to. You guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? You when you wake up, you're like, I feel good today. That means that they put more positives in your dreams. But that determines your path. All of a sudden, like, you go on that date with the girl today, and like there's things that are happening. Like, Let's just use the old school examples. You're singing in the rain, because you guys had a great date and you're skipping around, and there's a water puddle there, and you're like, hold on, let me hold your hand so you don't step in it, or I'm gonna put my coat there so you can walk over it, because I don't want to get your amazing boots that make you look so sexy and highlight your legs to get wet in that great dress of yours. Or, oh, this road right here, the pavement, like, you're walking in heels, so here, I gotta make sure to hold your hand, you know? Do you guys understand, like, they could pre-install that into you in your dreams so that then you're more likely to behave in that way. But I'm right now using you guys a positive one. I'm still saying that that's dangerous because it's not something that you chose. Do we understand what I'm trying to tell you? It's not something that you chose. So what if normally you're someone who's like, I don't believe in that, but I do just believe in being myself. And I'm like, hey, you got this. I'm like, I'm not gonna hold your hand to get over the water. Come on, take off your heels and jump over it. Like, maybe that's who you are, right? And I'm not saying that you can't, but then I'm like, oh, she's about to fall, then you grab her. Like, that's who you are, right? Maybe you guys see what I'm trying to tell you? Like, there's a balance there. But you could change someone, how they behave and who they are and the way they think about things, if you can install things in their dreams repeatedly. But this happens everywhere. So I'm like, where else is this happening? You can't choose what is being presented repeatedly. Where else, guys? Think about it. Where else is this happening to you? So what I call the play is, we have to detox everything they put into us. And we have to bombard ourselves with our own info and our own self nudge paths. Or we become who they choose for us, not what we decide. So that's a lot right there. Detox, info, self nudge paths. So how do we detox? It has to be the first thing we do after getting exposed to excessive info. And hear what I said. Where do we get that presented to us? I've used the Reddit examples. I used the room we're trapped in a chair, a torture room. There's other places, and we're building up to it, but in your dreams, right? So that means the first thing you do when you wake up. So we got exposed to excessive info when we woke up, or when we were sleeping in our dreams. So when we wake up, what do? We need to figure something out. There's one great path. We need to force our focus to change. Because if you're just laying there, let's say you just lay in bed, and it works, but you have to do something else, it's not sufficient, because we're piecing the puzzle together, right? Think of it like that. Like, if all of a sudden I present to you, I'm like, hey, here you go, here's a puzzle. Solve the puzzle the moment you wake up. Do you guys understand? Like, what? I'm tired. I'm like, oh. I'm like, do it. And while you're doing it, ask questions like, wait, why does this puzzle piece fit into this puzzle piece, and why does this puzzle piece fit into this puzzle piece? And then you're like, hey, what positive music do you want to listen to? I'm like, well, I haven't listened to that one Ocarina of Legend of Zelda music, or I haven't listened to I don't know, stuff like that, right? What are positive music for you? Andre Rieu, classical music, Mozart, Beethoven. All those things that teleport us to different time periods. When did you listen to Mozart? Did you watch that one movie, Amadeus? Oh yeah, I watched it when I was in second grade. It teleports you to that time period. I'm like, hey, when did you listen to Ocarina of Time, the remake? I'm like, oh, it was when I was in Mexico City in 2002. And now you can, like, oh, do you remember the home there of your grandma? I'm like, yep. Do you remember the home of your uncle? Yep. And then you in Oaxaca, and you just keep doing that, and you're just like teleporting everywhere. Do you guys understand? You're focused on something else, and you're self-nudging yourself those things like, where did my grandma, what was the upstairs of my grandma's house? How did it look like? And you guys just kind of like walk, literally picture, you're teleporting yourself, astral projecting yourself, and you're walking through there. I'm like, yeah. So I use, for example, I'm like, here's an example for you guys. I'm like, remember when we wrote posts on LinkedIn or did these videos on YouTube while listening to the song from Zelda that we would play when we would cook breakfast blueberries for our son? I'm like, huh. Okay. So what do we have there? We have Zelda. I'm like, what? You see, like, there's an association there. I know what song that is. For you guys, you're like, what? I know exactly what that means. I know exactly what that song is. I'm like, hey, do you remember yesterday when you overcame that challenging encounter in Octopath Traveler? Some of you guys are like, what? Yeah, I know what that means. You see, like, it teleports me there. Now that brings me back more to the future again. Do you guys see, like, you can do something like that, and you just throwing random things that you consider positive. I call it a short burst of positive memories. We don't want to start paths related to the past, because what if instead I'm like, okay, oh yeah, and then after that I cooked something called molletes, a Mexican dish, and then I made some pfannkuchen crepes, a German dish, and then stuff like that, and then do you remember I had the cutting board there and the Vitamix blender, and also now I'm like teleported to a different, you guys see, like, now a full path can begin. And that's where the danger lies. You don't want to start any one path, because what we're doing is we're scrambling our recency. We're scrambling it. We're like a little bit of everything. Why? It's not because we know that those are positives, right? So that means even if we started a positive path, it'd be good. But if you keep walking too much on one, what you are going to notice is all of a sudden negatives start appearing. That's why you don't want to do that. But if you have a little bit of everything, what does that create, guys? Balance. And I'm saying that in our dreams or other locations that I hope you guys are starting to piece together where it could be, where we are trapped somewhere, where we get presented things that we can't control repeatedly for hours to change our recency. So if they knew that we were going to do certain things today in our dreams, they can present only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things over and over and over and over and over and over again. Do you guys understand? There's nothing that we can do about that. So then, right now, that means that the balance is skewed in one direction. Yesterday, I used the example of, think of like the Pokemon has like a stat meter, or like each human has a stat meter. I'm like, hey, well, I'm good at talking, I'm good at persuasion, I'm good at charisma, I'm good at cooking, I'm good at cleaning, I'm good at singing, I'm good at whistling. Maybe I'm not good at drawing, I'm not good at pottery, but I could be, but I don't have a lot of stat points in that direction. Right? Just think about it like that. So I'm like, hey, maybe we should do it once in a while just to get a little better about that, to bring balance. That's just, I want you guys to picture. So what ends up happening in our dreams or in other locations where if we get trapped and we can only get presented info repeatedly, the same thing in recency, is that the balance is skewed. So that means that all our balance right now is in that direction. For example, I'm making sure that most of my balance is skewed towards girls right now, because I do want, again, to have another girlfriend and build a family and stuff like that. But that's intentional. Do you guys understand? I'm intentionally creating a skewed, disrupting the balance to make sure that's there, because I know that it's my positive, but I'm doing it out of protection. You guys don't need to worry about that yet. That's an advanced tactic. But for now, most of you, if you just disrupt whatever they skewed for you, because you see, I self-source that. I self-choose now at this point to have an excess amount of girl-related nudges and info being pushed to me. And I talk about it on every single stream, and I talk about it on every single video, and I talk about it on every single post. That's intentional because I know what their attacks are. Do you guys get it? So I'm doing that to counteract it, because that means that when they do an attack, it just brings down the meter a little bit from the girl skewed balance. But I have so much there that I have leeway, so then I just go back there again. That's why we do that. Do you guys understand? But I'm telling you, each and every one of you right now, they skew the balance for you. And they do it in the locations of their choosing, social medias, work. Dun, 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 dun. Did you guys guess that was the place where they do it? That's where most of you get completely consumed. But we talked about all those other areas, but dreams and work are the main culprits, guys. That's how they do it, because that's where you spend so much time on. And they skew the balance where they want you to be at any point. And they can change it. Do you guys understand? They can change it. All of a sudden, if something at work changes, and then also then your dreams, and then also then they'll start changing your social media, they can skew the balance, and then they can make you become whatever they want, and they can make you walk the paths whatever they want. That's why you need to scramble your recency every single day. I recommend playing a song that is a mix. What is a mix? So think of it like an hour song. Like I could type it right now, like, hey, I don't know, Tenet soundtrack or mix, or like relaxing mix or something like that. I know that music most people wouldn't consider relaxing, but all of a sudden then you have 1 hour of 20 songs, and it's one after another. What is that? Each song is a nudge, and it can start a path. And while you're doing that, you can create prompts, and you can, because order matters, guys. So then you can write things out. Here's the one that I like. So I challenge each and every one of you. I challenge each and every one of you to think about this. This is to end the detox part and the self-nudge part. Put on a mix of music, because this might be challenging for you guys to self-nudge yourself your own memories from like your childhood and your different time periods. You're going to learn how to do so, all right? As you keep repeating this, you're going to learn how to be able to do that. But at the beginning, it's not easy, right? Because we've had so much, our memory is skewed in one direction based on our recency. So then if you have a balance of your entire life, then you can only draw, but you guys understand it's only a tool to be used to scramble our recency. We're not going to go back and like remember like, let's remember that entire Germany trip from when I was 4 years old. That's not the play. So a good detox for you guys is put on a mix of a song you like, maybe Disney music, something like that. Anything, preferably without lyrics, because those are additional nudges, and it also changes your focus, but it doesn't mean that it's always bad. Try this one. Write it out, guys. How would you navigate a town that you've been to before if you became a Deku? Think of a Deku is, you're like, what's a Deku? It's a plant monster. How does a plant monster look like? Up to you. You're writing it out. And no one recognized you anymore or understood you. How would you navigate a town that you've already been to before if you became a Deku plant monster so no one recognized you or understood you? Even people who knew you before. How would you communicate to survive? So I ask all of you guys, could something be poisoning us and coating us in our dreams for what we experience the next day? What do you guys think? Some quick reinforcement, and then we're going to end. I already did a lot, so I'm just going to go through this part. Do you guys ever notice that the same thing can be experienced completely differently? If you read this or watch this after you scroll social media, do you guys see the owl over there? So if you just listened to this, you watched all this, you read this, leave my video open. All right? Listen to a song you enjoy. In my case, I use this example because it's an equivalent of when I felt amazing. So I'm like, do you remember when that girl in the orange dress made you feel amazing? When you piece together how something operates, that you're capable, that you're incredible, that you embrace challenge, that you know how to learn, that when something fails, you realize it's a progress attempt. What did we learn? What can we modify? How and why did that happen? Can we focus on strategy before resorting to walking the easy path? Could figuring things out actually be one of our ultimate shields for each and every one of us? Because then we're just walking forward and creating new, trying to decipher the answers. And we realize that even if nothing comes from this, it still protected us while we were doing this. So then we realize, wait, it's worth it. Because we're not focusing on the outcome anymore. Why do we sometimes forget this, guys? Is something making us view things from a certain lens? Could repeated reminders, positives in this case, completely change our path and get us to believe? If so, does that make everything we consume or do after different? Could that mean that if something failed or had problems, whatever we tried, it wasn't our fault, but rather a path that something intentionally put us on? How did you guys know how they can install things in us repeatedly? Could it? I'm telling you guys, you're amazing. You let them skew the balance for you. You let them choose for you, each and every one of you. Doesn't mean it's all bad. That's not what I'm saying. But until you can identify that something else sourced it, then you have to decide for yourself. Do you guys understand? I'm like, okay, they created this, they sourced this, they repeated that. Then you can decide for yourself if you want to choose to walk that path or not. But most of you today, they bombarded you with info, suggestions, repeated, the recency. They basically locked you in certain areas and rooms, and then they made you become things that you weren't before. Some were good and some were bad. But do you guys see, they were just basically playing with you. You were their puppet, you were their machine, you were their construct. They were choosing, do you want to have the right arm that has this or the left arm that is this? And they were choosing for all of you, and they still do if you don't, until you see this, until you understand this. And I'm saying, why are you okay with that? Because then once you understand all this, once the virus breaks all of that conditioning, the programming, the brainwashing that they installed in us, then you're like, wait a minute, I didn't self-source all these things, or I understand now why I'm inclined towards like more Latina girls than these type of girls. It's just what I've been experiencing more recently. It's okay. Do I still enjoy them? Yeah. Do you guys see, like, but then you're like other things, like, wait, no, you got rid of like where the source of info was poisoning you and presenting things to you and nonstop repeating things to you. If you get rid of it, and then you can scramble your recency, create your own paths, do your own things, and all of a sudden you take a step back and you're like, wait a minute, yeah, that's bullshit. I think that's bad, that's wrong. Why don't they question? Why don't they do this? Do you guys see, like, now you're choosing for yourself for the first time ever? I need all of you to get to that point. You're not going to get there one day. But now that you start seeing more, you start understanding more, you're going to be able to. And I'm telling you guys, the majority of the paths that each and every one of you have walked and continue to walk were not of your own choosing. And to me, that's terrifying. That's a problem. Because I'm saying, a lot of you are like, well, what if it's God that's doing it? Maybe. Right? I know there's invisible things that operate with us. I call them spirits. And there are multiple of them, by the way. It's not just one thing. And they're good and bad. And I'm saying, though, why do you guys trust them? Why do they know better? Do you understand? They're just deciding for you. That's all it is. Doesn't mean that they don't have good ideas. They have a lot of bad ideas too. But do you guys understand? If you just take whatever is suggested to you and presented to you and repeated to you, and enough recency, and then a path starts, then you're just doing whatever they want. And I'm saying, did you really choose? For most of us up to this point, if you hadn't heard this knowledge before, the answer is no. Every single storyline, every single path that you're doing, every single problem, and every single good thing that you have in your life is their choosing. And I'm telling you, just because you appear good externally, most of you are struggling internally. And that's intentional. Do you guys understand? They did that. They planned all of that. Just based on the rooms they put you in. Now you guys understand. So this is why I say we need to create prompts for ourselves. For me, like, I'm basing this off of an old post that I wrote on LinkedIn about a month ago. And I'm using that as a baseline, and then I'm adding my own new interpretation and a new take on it based on my current knowledge and where I'm at. Would I normally do this, just so you guys understand? No. I prefer instead to just create new and walk forward. But I'm doing this today because these are good things. These are good topics that I want out there on YouTube, even if only one person watches it. And also, it's just so I have video format of this too. But sometimes it's good to reconsume our own knowledge when we've been pushed too many other things, because then we can essentially self-brainwash ourselves for positive. But this is how we create. So why does this protect us from poison and corruption and brainwashing? Because it's our own info. Do you guys understand? I created these theories, but I analyzed them and I deconstruct them, and now I realize they're not theories, they're reality. But I challenge each and every one of you to test them in your own reality. That's what we talked about stress testing yesterday. Can you test it and see for yourself? Are you noticing the same thing? You see, like, if I'm consuming my own info again, and then I'm creating new from it, it's still not as good as if I can just create new from my own seed from nothing. But it's still something. Do you guys understand? But listen, it's new. This whole thing is new. So each and every one of you, if you never comment on these videos or my posts, or you don't make your own posts or videos, then can you write something on a notepad every morning or on your phone, like the notes section? You are focused on figuring out lessons, not necessarily retelling what experience. You can. But if you do so, it's only to insert a few positive paths to reconsume after you change your recency. So in my case, since it's positive for me, I'm like, hey, remember that girl with the orange dress? And then let's say you try writing a post or a comment or in your notepad. And it's about that prompt that we said earlier, right? And you're making it your own. How would we navigate a town we've been to before if we became a Deku plant monster so that no one recognized or understood us? How do we communicate to survive? How does the Deku plant look like? How does the town look like? Is there a clock tower? Dring, dring. Is there music playing? You get to decide. But does all that even matter? What events does the Deku plant monster encounter that allows them to heal and become a regular human again? Could it be meeting a beautiful girl? Could it be getting her to believe? Could it be that despite being a Deku plant monster, you succeed in getting this girl to understand you, to stop prioritizing money, to not care about rewards, to not care about the external? Why would the Deku plant monster do that despite being turned into a plant monster? Was it because they were attacked for not valuing the same things? For operating differently than the rest? They always were basically a Deku plant monster. Who they were, like, in their beliefs and their ideals. But now, they also became a Deku plant monster. Through the visual, through the appearance, through something overt. Do you guys understand? Then the story that you guys are writing in the notepad, does the Deku change after reverting to being a human? So now that they made this girl believe and she saw the light and she stopped prioritizing money, rewards, external, all that stuff like that. And she started caring for this Deku plant monster despite how it made her look. All of a sudden that made the Deku plant monster revert back to being a human. Does the Deku plant monster now change now that they're back to being a human? Now that they have access to all the same tools and now that they are able to do the same things that they used to be able to? Do they revert to being who they were before? Or did they take all the lessons that they learned while being a deco plant monster? So did the events that occurred while being not understood or able to communicate change them forever? You guys decide, because you're the author. I'm just prompting you guys. But imagine you write a story like this about these things. Do we understand how much focus change there is? How much recency? You're creating, you're exploring, you're trying. And that's the key. Try. There is no wrong. You're like, well, what if I write like a bad story about the deco plant monster? I'm like, who cares? I'm saying you should post it or make a video about it or share it, because then you break your bubble, like we talked about yesterday. Then you broke your limitation, and then you can realize, wait, nothing bad happened from doing so. I encourage all of you to do that. Write it here in the comments. I would love to read all of your guys' comments about your prompt, your guys' version of the deco plant monster story. I would love to read all of your guys' comments about that. That's going to be how I'm going to end the video. I'm like, write a prompt about the deco plant monster. Even if it's just one sentence or 2 sentences, a little story about it. I'd love to read your guys' version. So, in summary, could it be possible that what we experience in our dreams is being crafted and molded by something meant to poison and program us for what we'll encounter? Where else does this happen, guys? Could the same things be experienced or interpreted differently after being presented info or having a different lens, or if we're on a path? If I present 100 things to you right now for 1 hour, have I changed your recency that could possibly affect what you do next? If I give you food and coffee right now, are you more likely, are you going to eat and get coffee after this? If I let you listen to music, play a video game you enjoy, a board game, or solve a puzzle, are you going to have fun? Are you going to want to keep playing and not take kindly to interruptions? What would happen if the opposite occurs? If I take away your food and coffee? Would you be hungry? Would you be tired? If I prevented you from playing a game that you enjoy and blocked access to music, will you be frustrated? Will you be annoyed? Will what you do next change? Now you guys see how our path does change. So I ask all of you, could info change the outcome? Could the order of the info change the outcome? What if I told you right now that I'm fighting to heal the world so that nobody experiences the losses that I did? And I'm asking nothing in return other than you who's listening right now. I'm proud of you. You've come so far. Don't worry about getting all this. Remember what we said yesterday. Take a step back, relax. You're learning, you're developing, you're evolving, you're starting to see things differently. You're starting to ask a little more questions. You got this. Keep going. Keep repeating. I just want you to be free. I want you to believe again, to remember how amazing you are, that you're doing things that you didn't choose. Now that you're going to be able to choose, you're going to realize, wait a minute, that one is still good, but the rest are not. So now I'm going to walk my own path. And then that's the part that's going to make me so happy, so excited, knowing that I broke one person free and now they can make their own story. If you heard that, or if that was like a description that you read before you like watched my videos or listened to them, like, oh wow, so that's what that guy does. Could that modify your view of my actions? Would what you do next, or how you experience my content or my videos or my posts change? Do you guys see how even that alone could change? If I put that order at the beginning, could I not manipulate you to believe that from the beginning? I'm someone who believes in healing the world so nobody experiences the losses that you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? If I put that order there and I started every video like that, could I manipulate you to believe that regardless if it's true or not? Even if it is true, but do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? Could it modify your view on my actions? Why do I put it down here? Why do I put it at the end? Because I don't care if you think that or not. I hope you do. But what actually matters I hope that you guys get what I just said. Regardless, I shouldn't need to tell you that. Do you guys understand? This is what I'm trying to tell you, because all you're like, are you trying to indoctrinate us, brainwash? On the contrary, I'm breaking you free, because I'm trying to make you realize that I gave you everything that I just said already. If you listen to everything and you apply everything that I just said, you are now free and you can believe again, and you can start understanding how everything happened that's occurring in your life. And I'm asking nothing in return for you other than, hey, can you try writing a comment? Maybe about that decaplan monster? Do you guys understand? But why didn't I start like that? Because I believe that the only thing that matters is our actions. I can write all this stuff out, but if I don't do anything, you guys understand? So I'm doing the best that I can with my circumstances. I'm giving this knowledge, this information that took me 34 years, but I learned all this in year 33 to decipher, and it's all my best knowledge. And I'm telling you guys, I could control and manipulate the world, but a majority of people with knowing this knowledge, they're literally now puppets and pawns for me to move around if I chose to. But I don't. Instead, I give it to everyone for free. But I'm like, you're like, well, yeah, he did give it all away for free beforehand. Do you guys see? But I could have said that up front and then give you stuff and then also keep some stuff for myself. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? If you're confident in who you are and the path that you walk, and you know why you do so and what your intentions are, you don't need to pre-season them with info that makes them believe and be on a positive path, because it's just who you are. I don't need to manipulate you to think that I'm good. You get to decide based on what I've talked about and what I'm teaching you. If you don't think so, then I know it's based on the info that's repeated to you and the recency that you have and the path that you were on before you met me or before what you saw. That's it. Do you guys get it? It's really simple. I'm like, oh, I know that then you were intentionally created to be that way. So that's that simple. So with that said, do you guys now piece together where the order of things matters? It could change our path. It could change our interpretation. It could change our belief. It could change our willingness to consider. We're susceptible to what's repeated to us over an extended period of time. We are. And I'm telling you, even once you become aware of all this, it's still dangerous because you are extremely resistant and resilient to all of it. You're essentially almost immune, but you still understand the danger of it, because if it's repeated sufficiently, they can start programming new things. And what that means is that then they have a free in to start. Think of it like I want to put some corruption into you, some poison or something, but I can't because now you're resistant to it. So I'm like, shit. Well, what can present something repeatedly to start a potential corruption poison path? That's what they do. If you become to this level, but you guys will get there. So more basics is we need to identify where can that happen, when can that happen, how do we get presented the info suggestions, what is the source that's skewing the balance, what is it, where are they presenting all that stuff. And I'm telling you guys, putting someone in a room they can't escape, sitting on that torture chair for a set amount of time, allow us to determine someone's overall inclination, what their focus and their interpretation is, the lens. Yeah. So what we experience repeatedly for 1 hour or after 100 things are presented, if we don't change our active recent memory, that means we're going to allow the previous info and suggestions to dictate what we do next. Hey guys, make sure you detox and write that Deku plant monster story. Remember what we said. So if you don't interrupt the path, won't you walk where Shepherd Star told you to? Deciphering the universe the way I told you to? This is how you end up doing other people's stories. Conditioning. Take all the knowledge I'm giving you, use it to break free, and then decide for yourself. What story you do after you break free with the knowledge that I give you, that's up to you. I don't care what it is. You could even go back, just so people understand, you could even go back and do the same story that you were doing previously. You could even go back and go to the same job, because I'm saying you should quit your guys' job, because that's really the room, the area that you can't escape, that they can present info to you repeatedly, nonstop, to mold you and craft you. I'm saying you guys could go back after you break free with my knowledge and go back to that same job that you quit. You could. In a way, actually, I hope you do. I challenge you to. You won't. Do so. Go back to the job that you quit. What's going to happen? You consumed all this knowledge. You broke free. You learned, wait a minute, that's how they installed that. They installed that. They installed that. I didn't choose that. I didn't choose that. But you still go back because now you're worried, like, oh, I might run out of money. And you go back. I promise you, you guys are not going to admit it to me. But I promise you, when you go back, everything is going to be different. It's not going to be the same anymore. You're like, what the fuck? I don't care anymore about this stuff as much. I don't care what I don't care what Sarah's doing. You know, her legs are even nicer today than they were yesterday. I'm like, or a month ago, I'm like, I don't care. Like, why did I care so much back then? Like, those things don't matter. I don't care about being the largest nonprofit or things of that nature. What? I'm like, all of a sudden then you start hearing the things that people say to you. Like, you're like sitting in your office, or maybe you guys are working remotely, and all of a sudden you start getting all these like random, you're in these group chats and you're getting these chat messages on your whatever chat program your company uses, and you see the things that are being suggested to you and presented to you, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're trying to mold me to be like that. They're telling you like who you are. Like, well, you're someone who wakes up early and works really hard and always goes above and beyond. So do you think you could come in early and also stay later today? You're like, what the fuck? You like, now you see it, right? Do you guys get it? You see it. It can never work on you again, because now you see it. And if you choose to do so, do you guys understand? It's a willing choice despite what's repeated. Because imagine if everyone's like, yep, Shepard Star likes to wake up early and stay later and help the company become the largest nonprofit. And they just keep repeating that. You're like, yeah, that's who I am. That's who I am. That's who I am. That's who I am. But now you see it. You're like, I see what you guys are doing. You're molding me. You're crafting me. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. So then when that happens, you're like, holy crap. Now, ever since I came back here, first of all, I don't care about this old job as much. And now I see exactly how they were molding me and crafting me and how I became who I used to be. Bad or good, that's up to you to decide. But now I understand how I became that way. So now I'm saying, that means that you didn't choose that. You didn't choose who you used to be. And to me, that's terrifying, because we should be able to choose. We need to decide for ourselves if it's good or bad, based on knowing our positives and negatives, and then it's still our own choice. But if you didn't choose, I'm like, wait a minute. That means that, why did I do all these things? Why was I here? What? Oh, man. So, if we're getting poisoned, wouldn't we want to learn how to cure the poison? So how do we detox, guys? I gave you guys the example with the Deku plant monster, right? If you got turned into one and you're exploring a town that you haven't explored before, or that you've already explored, but no one recognizes you or understands you, how would you communicate? What would you do? All right? That works. But this is the thing that we need to do after we get exposed to excessive info. We need to do a mental reset. Think of it like that. And I call it, so like after we wake up, after we work, if you guys go to work, after you like spend a lot of time with a group of people, if you scroll social media, if you search for something, you need to figure something out. You need to force your focus to change. For example, a complex video game that has a lot of moving pieces, that works. There's so much to focus or learn something new. Like, I have never done this before. You need to start asking questions. You need to start teleporting yourself to different time periods. I say, like, hey, do you remember when I made a video or wrote a post and I listened to that song from Final Fantasy? Away, dig, 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 deeper. We must find the flame. On loop to get into flow. Then we start doing short bursts of positive memories. Remember, we don't want to start paths related to the past, just a little bit, just to move us all around. Think of it like there's a pyramid, okay, guys? And we're inside this pyramid. I don't know if you guys can see that. So the pyramid inside of a pyramid. We're that. We're inside the pyramid, okay? And all our memories are out here. So when they choose, by repeatedly pushing stuff into us, they choose which direction we're at, okay? So right now they pushed us between our dreams and work and social media. We're at this side. I'm like, hold on. I need to add a little bit here. I need to add a little bit here. I need to add a little bit here. A little bit up here. What about down here too? And then I can also view things differently all around here. Do you guys understand now? Then there's balance. So that means that any path that you walk after this, it's not skewed in one direction. You're not going to necessarily go here, because what if you're like, okay, I want to counter this side that they did. They put me on this side. Well, then I'm going to put only this side. That works. Do you guys understand? It works. But what if that's what they wanted? What if they know that you always counter by going that direction? And why would they want that? We're not going to get lost there, but I just want people to think about that. Hey, if I keep telling you, hey, you know what? You guys suck. You guys suck at making videos and posting stuff on LinkedIn or comments. You guys don't know how to write. You guys don't know how to make videos. You're not good. And what if you have installed in you, because they've been crafting and molding you from the very beginning, to be someone that when you get challenged or when you start failing or when you start losing, that you start performing better. You're like, okay, that's it. I got this. Do you understand that I can just keep presenting that to you, and then I know your response is going to be to counter that? And is that necessarily a bad thing it gets you to do? But you guys understand that it means that I'm now weaving and controlling your storyline. For most of you, if it's at work, I'm telling you guys, all they have to do is scare you guys and say like they might fire you, or that problems are going to happen, or that we're going to have situations, or they try to create a little fear, and then just the whip. Whoosh, if you don't do this, something bad's going to happen. That's it. And they know then your guaranteed responses. You're going to be nervous, you're going to worry, then you're going to perform worse, but they don't care about that, because you're still going to get the result, because they know. Do you guys get it? You need to scramble your recency. So short bursts of positive memories, like, hey, remember that girl? Coffee date, croissants. Right? We are cracking our recency. If you guys see this mug right here, you guys see that? There's a crack on it. And every time you look at that, you're like, I cracked it. That's what you guys are doing with what they push into you. You crack it, and then you make it your own. Crack, crack, crack. So, if we put a song on a loop, what happens? You get into flow. It can be used as a tool to get into flow. And it can protect you from future suggestions, because you can channel the theme of the song. So after I'm done doing this, I'm going to put in a song. They already know what song it is, but it's one that makes me feel good. One that makes me feel that I'm creating a new world. Regardless of if I am or not, do you guys understand? Hear that. It's channeling the theme of the song. And then afterwards, we start adding in more shields. There we go. I enjoy eating cheese with sauce. Guess what salsa? So then I'm like, hey, can I modify it a little bit? Can I do something differently? I don't have to, but I could. Could I change the seasoning? Could I change the order? And you see, like, even just modifying something that we've always made, it can improve the flavor dramatically, or you can just change it. And like, well, this is a little different. I call that a cooking shield, but really it's also figuring out, piecing things together. Could I whistle the songs that I'm listening to as a reinforcement while drinking coffee, or water in this case, shields? Robin Hood? Can I watch a video of something that I enjoy? For example, when I played World of Warcraft, a moment where I succeeded, I overcome a challenging encounter, healing and guiding, my shepherd shield, my shepherd coat, my shepherd talisman. Can I say hello to my army of freedom? Animals, doves, cockroaches, flies, birds, they're free. If I see one, I'm like, oh yeah, they're free. And then, you know what we talked about yesterday, then we pay attention to attacks. Once we notice them, we move away from them and we avoid them. And the most important thing, don't ever do the expected, intended reaction or path. So that's a lot. But why did I give you guys that? Because now we're back to the beginning. Could something be poisoning us and coating us in our dreams for what we experience the next day? Could something be crafting and molding us to have the inclination, the focus, and the interpretation that they want for us? Let today be the day you question your reality. But you guys tell me. You heard all of this information. Now you get to decide for yourself. What are you going to do?